Hey family, welcome to Love Samantha Lee, the More Than Just Pretty podcast. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite platform, I'm so glad you're here. We keep it real about love, faith, and life. Are you ready? Let's get into it. What's up, family? It's your girl Samantha Lee, and y'all, I am here with another video, and this one's called Surrender the Keys. But before I get into it, y'all, I want to thank each and every person that has decided to be a part or take part in this podcast, okay? It has grown tremendously, and I only have you to thank, okay? For those who hit the subscribe button, for those who comment, like, share, thank you so very much. Our channel is growing. Every week, I'm getting these emails like it's growing. Thank you guys. I could not have done it without you. So thank you for every person who engages, who subscribe, all the above. I love y'all. I do. Okay. I want you guys to know that. So if you have not yet already, please hit that subscribe button. We're putting out content. Oh goodness. I think it's like a couple reels a week. We're putting out videos. We're putting out shortened videos. We doing it all. We working, y'all, on both channels. Okay, Love Samantha Lee and the sister channel, More Than Just Pretty. So definitely support us. Thank you guys for the support and the continued support as we grow in this season. All right, family. So today's episode, as you guys know, if you don't know anything about me, my name is Samantha Lee. I am blessed to have a platform on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and the YouTube. I go live every Wednesday night on my channel, the main channel, Love Samantha Lee. And so, yeah, if you guys want to see me live and talk and do what Sam does, go ahead. Come and see us. Come and join us. We have a great time out there. But if you guys have watched anything that I've done, you know that I have committed to you guys transparency on this journey that God has me on. Okay, and so this episode is an interesting one because it's one that God has been he been dealing with me. He been dealing with me on this one, y'all. Been dealing with me. You know, that's why I call it surrender the keys, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna try to back it up and bring it forward. Y'all, why is he asking me to be so transparent? Why? Okay. Y'all, so basically, it was about a week ago, and I was posting something on my social media, and y'all, I've really put a lot more thought into what I post, put a lot more thought into what I wear, put a lot more thought into how I present myself. I really feel that conviction. Now, I may not get it right, so please don't send me no daggone emails. Okay, I may not always get it right. Okay, it's the new season. I'm trying. Okay, I'm covering up. I'm trying to keep it, together. God is telling me to do that. So I'm doing it. I understand it. So give your girl some grace. Okay, I've definitely gotten emails where it's like wear bigger, wear two sizes too big, or wear, do something with your hair, cover up your hair, cover up somebody with your face. Okay, I'm covering up. Relax, okay? Relax. But anyway, thank you guys for your emails, by the way. Anyway, I was posting this photo on social media, y'all, and I immediately felt a conviction. And it wasn't like a post where it was, things was out. I wasn't doing all that, y'all. But it was just a picture of myself that I thought was pretty. And it was a day where I wasn't necessarily feeling as pretty, right? In my own personal world in my life. Okay. And so I wasn't feeling myself like that. So I posted this photo, and immediately I felt conviction. And y'all, this is something that I don't do it that frequently, but I've done it before. It's not like my first time posting a photo. Like I'm feeling like ugh, or I'm feeling like ugh about myself. And I post this photo. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty picture, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not that. I'm not an ogre. I'm not a beluga whale. Whatever thought is in my mind, like it makes me feel better about myself. Okay. So I do this. I immediately feel conviction, and I start arguing with God about it. I'm like, God, okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, so I don't understand. Like, I'm not posting anything crazy, not doing anything wild. Like, what's going on, God? Why do I have this conviction about something I've done? Okay, this is not my first time. I haven't felt a conviction about this before. Like, why am I feeling this now? And going back and forth with God, and one of the things that come to mind was like, this is like talking about, in the future, if I was to be with somebody and that's my spouse or whatever, like that's not a behavior you want to keep having, essentially. And then I also felt in my spirit that God was like, until that happens, you're mine. And you find your identity, you find your worth in me. You find your validation in me. You don't find it in anything else. You don't find it in the like. You don't find it in some money, uh, you don't find it in accolades. You don't find it in accomplishments. You don't find it in deals being closed. You don't find it in a bank account. You don't find it. You don't find it in paying off your credit cards. You don't find it You don't find it in a human being. You find that in me. I was like, oh, I've never thought about it like that. And I realized that though it was innocent, wasn't something I was intentionally doing. The season that God has prepared me for, that's an old key. That's an old key to getting validation. That was an old key to making myself feel better temporarily. That was an old key. God's asking me to surrender the keys. That as I move into this next season, some of the things that I've used, some of the things I've done, and y'all, I hate that I have to say this, but it will happen again. Another situation where I'm like, I post these pictures, and again, pure, like my motivation wasn't that; it was a different motivation, and God checked me on that and was like, "Nope, take it down," and I took it down. And he called me out of something that I've been doing. There's been a lot of different promotional things I've done, different deals I've done, and there's been things he's just called me out of, not because they're bad or wrong or I don't love them or whatever the case may be. He's calling me into a new season, and y'all, I'm gonna be very transparent here. It at times feels like I'm breaking. Oh my God, like really? Like why? Like why do I have to let this go? I love these things? Like why? And it's like, God, I just feel this conviction. I feel it. It doesn't leave me. It's just there. And it's almost like as I've gotten closer to God and the connection's been more clear, I'm clear on what he wants me to let go of. I'm clear because it's there. It's just like it just comes back up, comes back up, I'm like, okay, God, okay. And the other day, I actually called when I felt that conviction. I felt that on my spirit. I called my friend. I'm like, but why? Like, this is not like this isn't happening. I'm not even not. I'm not in this. I'm not in a marriage. I'm not doing like I'm like arguing with God about like why do I have to, not do that? Like, why do I have to be mindful of this? Why do I have to? And God's like, no, no, no. That's an old key. And I love you too much to allow you to keep picking up these keys and finding different reasons and different excuses to pick them up and justify was really there's something deeper. And there is something deeper. I come from a background and a family. It's not their fault, but I was raised in, and we are all raised in a society where you are valued based upon what you have, what you look like, what you wear, what you do. And a lot of my upbringing has been about what you look like. And when I didn't look the part, I felt that in my family, there's pressure. That's not wrong. I come from a culture where there's a lot of pressure for the women in my culture to look a certain way. Always. It doesn't matter I don't care what you're going through. You could be 42 weeks pregnant. You better be up in that gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't think some of those things are bad things. However, I'm now dealing with a situation where God is breaking conditioning, where now my worth and my validation and those things don't come from the world, that the world doesn't determine whether or not I'm good enough. God does. The world doesn't determine whether I'm pretty enough. God does. And eventually that'll be where I find my, parts of my validation. I can't put all of that on my future spouse, but that belongs to him too. Because I think a lot of times what we've seen, and I've seen this a lot, but there's women that they're married or they're in relationships and they're still very much seeking the validation of other people to make them feel like they're pretty enough. And we can call it whatever. I'm just posting for me. I'm doing this for me. And, I get that. I understand on some level, you can't just be, you want to feel like you're an attractive person, period, not just to your mom or your dad. And at some point, with some people, they've been together for so long. It's like, well, of course you think I'm pretty. Does anybody else think I'm pretty? Like women's thing is to be desired. It comes from the beginning of time. And if we do not manage that desire well, we can sabotage future relationships because we do not know how to manage that. We do not know how to find that. And so we end up, I've seen this a lot, where women end up emasculating or making their men feel some type of way because they're still seeking this. Tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm good enough, tell me tell me I'm this, tell me I'm that, from the world. And it can end up messing up aspects of the relationship or causing discord in your own home. And now you have a problem because you want the world to say you're pretty, but the person that you with at home is like, I feel disrespected because you out here advertising or doing all this stuff for men and women and people that don't got nothing to do with our day-to-day life. You're trying to please them while disrespecting me. You're trying to please them while making me look crazy. God had to really deal with me on that because I listen, as a woman, I understand. I understand that desire, especially, you want to be attractive. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be attractive. There's nothing wrong with keeping up with yourself, but there validation and seeking it externally is an empty well. It's a broken cistern. Broken cisterns are man-made wells. And the Bible calls anything that we find our value, our worth, our identity in a broken cistern that's outside of God, the fountain of living water. And in Jeremiah 2:13, he says, so we've committed two evils. For my people have committed two evils. One, they've forsaken the fountain of living water. And number two, they've created broken cisterns that cannot hold water. So for themselves, they've created broken cisterns that cannot hold water. And one of those things, or a lot of those things for men and for women, is this trying to find it externally. And it's because we've been conditioned to do that. When we are in school, the teacher determines our grade. When we're in sports, we are learning that when we win the game, and the validation from the people cheering and saying go, da, 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 you're getting it from the crowd, you're getting energy from the crowd. We're taught to externally receive validation, and that in and of itself, I don't think it's bad, but it's an up and down. So when people are good with you, you're good. When people are bad with you, you're bad. When your circumstances are up, you're up. When your circumstances are down, you're down. And what spiritual maturity is trying to teach me is how to be consistent regardless. That God never changes. Like putting my worth and my value and my validation in him is what keeps me sustained, so that when I'm in other places and I'm having these feelings and I'm experiencing these things, I don't go to a source that goes up and down. I go to a source, or I retreat to a source that is always the same and has always felt the same about me. I've never had to be good enough for God. I've always just been good enough. I never had to be pretty enough for God. I've always been pretty enough. I've never had to do all these different things to make him happy with me. He was always happy with me, always loved me. He never abandoned me, never forsaken me. But in this journey, God has broken me, or it has continued to break things from me. And I have to trust that it's for a greater good. I have to trust, and I know it is for a greater good. I mean, I know it is. It's not like I know it is. But can I tell you it's hard? It's hard. Because a lot of, like, I've shared with somebody else, like, okay, God called me out of this. They're like, well, why? I don't know. I think there's a deeper message here, I guess. I've just got to trust. Well, that's not like a bad thing. Well, to God it is. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just know that God in this season is calling me to do something new. And slowly but surely, because he's so wise and he's so smart, he breaks me off of things like slowly. Okay, let that go. Good job. Now that. Okay, cool. Now that. I can do that. Okay, now that. He like slowly is bringing me to a place where I'm my validation, my worth just comes from him. And I think that today's society, and I mean, especially, like with women, we can see how putting our validation in the hands of other people is irresponsible. Putting our validation in our parents' hands. Not that that's a bad thing, it's not inherently bad. But when we are trying so hard to please our parents and making our parents okay with us, we can forsake God and what God is calling us to do, because it's going to make your parents look at you sideways, or your family look at you sideways. Or you can't. What I'm learning in this journey is that God has broken me from a lot of these things and these relationships, and has let me see, like, okay, that may not be the person you share this with. And he's given me destiny helpers that are more aware of certain things and that I can really share because they speak the language of faith. But it's been hard, family. Like, and it's not like when I had this reaction to the post and to this other thing that he's called me to walk away from, it was more like, okay, God, but why? But why? I don't understand why. And in my private time, and as I'm sitting with him, the sensing I got was, my ways are higher than yours. My thoughts are higher than yours. And anything you're giving up for me, I have better. That whatever I'm calling you out of, that I've got better for you. And maybe I'm not calling you out forever, but I'm calling you out right now to get you mentally in a space where you don't need their validation. You don't need them to be okay with you. You don't need them to understand what I'm asking you to do. That when we get ourselves into this place of seeking these things from other people, we are now limited, because we're like, well, God's calling me to do that, but this is going to make everybody think I'm crazy. Well, God is calling me to believe for this, but that doesn't really make sense in my day-to-day life. Well, God is calling me to do this, but my mom and my dad are going to look at me sideways, or my family, my friends are going to look at me sideways, or whoever I'm working for is going to look at me sideways. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to do what I feel like God is prompting me to do, because I'm afraid of the opinions of people. And that is what this process for me has been, is that I've been conditioned, family, just like you, in an area really with my appearance has been a battle from the beginning. It's been a battle. It's been a battle. And it's hard, Because ever since I was young, there's no fault to my family. That's where my value has come from. And I think God is going to use it. He's going to use all of it. He's going to use everything he's created in me and through me for something special to bring glory to him. But my purpose is not to bring glory to me. It's to bring glory to him. And I can see how we get lost. Because it does feel good when people see you in certain lights. And it does feel good when you get the claps and the pat on the back and the, oh my God, you're so beautiful. My goodness. Like, wow. Those things feel good. They're temporary though. They quickly fade away. Like within the hour. You might have got a compliment at Walmart like 20 minutes ago, and you're already feeling like, dang, like, am I pretty? Like or you just won the game an hour ago, and now you focus on the next game, or you just got the bonus at your job, but now you focus on the next bonus, or you just got off the flight from your vacation, and now you look into where you're going to your next vacation. Actually, you might be on the way to the vacation, trying to plan the next vacation because you already know the vacation isn't enough. It's never enough. It never will be enough. And that's what God keeps dealing with me in this season. And what I really want you to understand is that some of us, yes, I'm going through breaking. I'm breaking conditioning. I've been raised a certain way to be valued a certain way, to value myself a certain way. In order for that to happen, I've had to surrender the keys that I would normally use to open certain doors within my spirit. God is like, surrender those keys. Don't work in the next season because where I'm taking you, you can't be moved by this. You can't be moved by them liking you or them being okay with you or that like or that comment or that going viral, that not going viral. No, I need you to be so committed to the purpose that it don't matter what nobody says. Doesn't matter what anybody likes it. It can be 2 people that like it. Doesn't matter. I want to see if you're gonna be faithful with 5, the same way you'll be faithful with 5,000. I'm testing you to see if you are able to be faithful to what I'm calling you to do, no matter what anybody thinks about it. Are you going to be faithful? Are you going to be consistent? Are you going to keep showing up? Even when your family think you crazy. Even when everybody around you is like, I don't know what you're doing. When you feel like, okay, this don't even make sense. I don't know what's going on. Are you still going to be faithful? Because in order to walk this walk, family, we have to sometimes forsake the people that even raised us. Sometimes in the Bible, it says in the New Testament where Jesus, one man is talking to him, and he's like, listen, you have to, in comparison to me, you've got to be willing to put everything down and walk wherever I'm going. Take up your cross and walk with me. And that means leaving family, leaving friends, leaving people that don't understand. That is part of it. And that's why our wilderness season, we are isolated. Because God's like, listen, when everybody else is gone, guess who's here? Always have been, always will be. I'm not abandoning you. I've never leave you, nor have I ever forsaken you. And part of my anxiety in this season, family, if I'm being very honest with you, is that I put how people have done me. I've been so disappointed, betrayed at times. I put that on the character of God. God's never done that to me. People have. So my inability to move when he tells me to move, or my hesitancy, and every time like he's taking something from me that I feel like is adding to me in some way, that rebellion, but why? It's like, don't you trust me? Because your hesitancy to do what I've called you to do, or to stop that, or to walk away from this, shows me, or is an indication to me, that you don't really trust me the way you say you do. Because anything y'all, and let me tell you, yesterday, all I could think about was this thing that he was calling me to do. All I could think about. And it was like, do you trust me? Do you trust me? Sam, do you trust me? I'm like, I do. I do, but why, God? I don't. You're not showing me the course. I don't know why I'm giving this up. And y'all, this is part of the faith walk. Is like you don't know. You have no idea why. Like you, even if he told you, you still wouldn't know. And a lot of times, y'all, I've learned a month later why things were the way they were, or 2 months later, or 3 months later, or I started to see things happening months down the line. I'm like, oh, so you had to get me. Oh, okay. I get it now. You don't know in the moment, but you have to trust that, y'all. I'm telling you this from experience. I'm learning when God calls me to do something, I'm going to do it, whether I understand it or not. Why? Because I have seen the faithfulness of my God. I know he knows the ending from the beginning. And if he's calling me out of something, yes, there's going to be thoughts that are like, is this real? Is this true? Does this really is God really going to show up? Is this really God? Like all these thoughts, all these things, all these, I don't even know what you want to call them. All these doubts start coming up in your spirit that make you want to be resistant to whatever God is calling you to do and what God is calling you to focus on. They're going to come up. As soon as God calls you, they're going to come up. And what I've had to do to combat that was to see God's faithfulness in the Bible and to also remind myself of his faithfulness in my life. That there are things every single day that it's only the faithfulness of God that I'm here, that I'm able to do this, that I'm in front of this camera, that this is reaching somebody. That's God's faithfulness. The fact that he's decided to use Miss Girl from New Jersey to do what I'm doing today. A girl that was lost, a girl that had no idea her identity and found my identity in things that just don't matter. I have had to remind myself the faithfulness of God. And that sometimes when things just aren't working, God is like, I'm not going to let that work because that's not your purpose. I'm not going to let that work because that's not where you're supposed to do this. I'm not going to let that work because you're not doing it the way I want you to do it. I'm not going to let that work because it's not the time. And when the time comes, I need you to be in this position because it's bigger than just this. It's bigger than just, you're looking at it like, I just want this. Okay, yes, but that's for you. What's for me? Yes, you want that. You want that amount in your account. You want that, whatever accolade you're going to. That's good. Okay, how does that benefit me? And God is thinking bigger than what we think. We're like, I just want the promotion at the job. Okay, but how do I get the glory from all this? And so sometimes God has to create these interruptions. I was just looking at a story, or it's not a story, a sermon from Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she was talking about how God uses the interruptions to propel you into purpose. Like the things that we feel like we're interrupted by, like, God, okay, really? Like, are seriously? Okay, I just got through this. Now you're giving me that. And God's like, yeah, because I'm sitting you down. There's purpose. Y'all, if God is sitting you down in this season, if God is isolating you in this season, if God is like, listen, I need you to lock in. God has something even greater than you can even imagine. And it plays into your desires. But the thing is, sometimes we're afraid of what we desire. We're afraid of that because we've been hurt by it. The enemy's strategic. He's going to hurt you in the very area God wants to bless you in. Why? So that when God calls you into it, there's all this hesitation, there's all this rebellion because you've been hurt, you've been disappointed. That was purposeful. I can foul you hard enough. I don't want you to go on this side when I'm playing the game, right? When we see people play football or basketball, it's like, I want to foul you so hard, you can't go down this road. You don't want to go down this side of the court or this side of the field. I want to take you out the game. That's what the enemy does. I'm trying to take you out the game. And what we do is we allow the enemy to take us out the game because we got fouled really hard one time. No. You get back in the game. You keep on swinging. I know it's easier said than done. And I'm saying this from a place of y'all. God just dealt with me. That yes, I'm up and I'm swinging still. But I've had to make sacrifices and more sacrifices and trust that God is going to be faithful. That he's not calling me out of this for no reason. And he's not calling me into things for no reason. That these promptings, that these things that he's doing in my life, they're all intentional. So for some of y'all, this message is very simple. Surrender the keys. You've been holding on to these keys for a very long time. Sometimes the very things that we keep to protect ourselves are keeping us from the things that we desire the most. They act as a fence that even though they're protecting you, they're also keeping you prisoner, where you can't get or receive the things that's so deep, like deep down inside, God sees. You're unfulfilled. He wants to fill that part up. And that requires a surrender. Full one. Where anything pales in comparison to what God has for you. Anything, y'all. Anything that God is calling you from. You have to trust. Hear me. Trust that he's got greater for you on the other side. I got to jump off, y'all. My laptop's about to die. But I thank you guys for joining me today. I hope this episode did something for you. Surrender the keys, family. God has something greater. And I'm not saying some of the keys. Surrender every key that he's calling you to surrender. He's got greater for you. He's got greater keys to greater places that you can't even conceptualize right now. That comes down to the question. Do you trust him? That even if it doesn't make sense right now, do you trust in the character of our God? Don't put God's character on people. People are not God and God are not people. God is not people. God is faithful. And he has greater. All right, family. I love you guys. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great afternoon, weekend. I don't know when this is coming out. Well, I do. I think it's Friday. I hope this edifies you. I hope this helps you. God is calling you to surrender the keys. Your old keys can't open new doors, family. They just can't. Got to surrender them. I love y'all. Have a great day. And that's a wrap. If this episode spoke to you, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube or leave a review wherever you're listening. Let's keep the convo going. Connect with me on all socials. Remember, real beauty starts with you being true to yourself. I love you, family, and I'll see you soon.